Prepare for Yoga Nidra practice. Lie supine on the floor and lightly close the eyes. Align the head and torso. Relax the arms on the floor with a comfortable degree of shoulder abduction, feeling the arms slightly out from the body, and a comfortable degree of forearm supination so the palms are up or in. And notice how the fingers naturally flex a little as they relax. Slightly abduct the hips so that the legs are about shoulder width apart, and allow the hips to naturally relax into external rotation so that the feet are falling outwards a little. Adjust the position and the coverings to make the body really comfortable and to ensure that it stays warm throughout the practice. And once you've made all the final adjustments, feel the body softening and settling into stillness. Mentally scan for any remaining physical tension and consciously soften and release. Check the feet and legs, feeling them soft and heavy on the floor. Feel the pelvis, abdomen and chest softening and relaxing. Feel the arms soft and heavy, and the neck and head softening. Relax all the facial muscles, so the jaw is loose and the lips are lightly touching and the teeth are a little bit apart. Feel the nose and cheeks softening, the eyes resting, and the eyelids lightly closed, like warm blankets over the eyes. Relax and soften the forehead. Feel it becoming smooth. Feel that the whole body is fully supported and totally at ease. And now allow the mind to soften and settle. Release all mental controls and allow any spontaneous mental activity to come and go freely. Allow the mental impressions to drift through the mind and dissolve, just like clouds drifting through the sky. Develop the attitude of an impartial observer, noticing thoughts and other mental impressions without becoming involved. Maintain this attitude of the impartial observer throughout the whole Yoga Nidra practice. And now listen to all the sounds around you and allow the mind to keep moving from sound to sound without dwelling on any one sound and without thinking or reacting to the sounds. Listen to the subtle sound of the breath and feel the gentle movement the breath makes as it flows freely in and out of the body. And now let go of following the breath and listening to the breath, and focus the hearing on the instructions. Remind yourself that you're practicing Yoga Nidra and that you plan to maintain awareness of the instructions throughout the practice. And now rotate the awareness throughout the body. Allow the body to stay still while the mind moves lightly from one part to another. Observe the sensations, visualize, and mentally repeat the name of each part of the body as it's mentioned. Start at the right thumb, the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm, back of hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side of chest, right waist, right hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, sole of foot, top of foot, big toe, second, third, fourth, fifth. Now going to the left side to the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, the palm, back of hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side of chest, left waist, left hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, sole of foot, top of foot, big toe, second, third, fourth, fifth. Going to the back of the body, to the right buttock, left buttock, right lower back, left lower back, right middle back, left middle back, right upper back and shoulder blade, left upper back and shoulder blade, back of neck, the whole spine, back of head, crown of head, forehead, right temple, left temple, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow center, right eye and eyelid, left eye and eyelids, right ear, left ear, right jaw joint, left jaw joint, right cheek, left cheek, right nostril, left nostril, bridge of nose, tip of nose, upper lip, lower lip, teeth, gums, the whole jaw, tongue, palate, throat, front of neck, right collarbone, left collarbone, right front of chest, left front of chest, center of chest, upper abdomen, navel, lower abdomen, pelvis, pelvic floor, the whole right leg, the whole left leg, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, both arms and legs together, the whole chest, the abdomen, pelvis, the whole trunk, neck and head, the whole body. Feel and see all parts of the body together, one whole body. And now rotate the awareness throughout the body again, this time observing the skeleton, feeling the sensations, visualizing, and mentally repeating the names of the bones as they're mentioned. Again, start at the right thumb and observe the proximal and distal phalanges and the interphalangeal joint. Go to the second digit and observe the proximal phalanx, middle phalanx, distal phalanx, and the proximal and distal interphalangeal joints. The third digit, proximal, middle, and distal phalanges, and proximal and distal interphalangeal joints. The fourth digit, proximal, middle, and distal phalanges, and proximal and distal interphalangeal joints. The fifth digit, proximal, middle, and distal phalanges, proximal and distal interphalangeal joints. The 5 metacarpophalangeal or knuckle joints. The metacarpal bones in the hand, the 8 carpal bones making up the wrist, the 2 forearm bones, the ulna on the medial side and the radius on the lateral side, with the superior and inferior radio-ulnar joints and the interosseous membrane connecting the 2 forearm bones. The elbow joint, the humerus in the upper arm, the shoulder or glenohumeral joint where the humerus articulates with the scapula, the right side of the rib cage formed by the lateral part of the 12 ribs, the right iliac bone at the side of the pelvis, the right hip joint between the femur and the pelvis, the whole femur, the knee joint between the femur, patella and tibia, the 2 bones of the lower leg, the tibia medially and the fibula laterally, with the strong fibrous proximal and distal tibiofibular joints and interosseous membranes connecting the 2 bones. Observe their prominent distal ends, called the lateral malleolus and the medial malleolus. The ankle joint between the tibia, fibula and talus bone of the foot. The calcaneum bone of the heel. The other tarsal bones in the back part of the foot. the 5 metatarsal bones in the front of the foot, the metatarsophalangeal joints in the ball of the foot, the first digit with proximal and distal phalanges and the interphalangeal joint, the second digit with proximal, middle and distal phalanges and proximal and distal interphalangeal joints, the third digit, fourth, fifth, and now going to the left side, starting at the left thumb and observing the proximal and distal phalanges and the interphalangeal joint, the second digit, proximal phalanx, middle phalanx and distal phalanx, and the proximal and distal interphalangeal joints, the third digit, proximal, middle and distal phalanges and proximal and distal interphalangeal joints, the fourth digit, proximal, middle and distal phalanges, proximal and distal interphalangeal joints, the fifth digit, proximal, middle and distal phalanges, proximal and distal interphalangeal joints, the 5 metacarpophalangeal or knuckle joints, the metacarpal bones in the hand, the 8 carpal bones making up the wrist, the 2 forearm bones, the ulna on the medial side and the radius on the lateral side, with the superior and inferior radio-ulnar joints and interosseous membrane connecting the 2 bones, the elbow joint, the humerus in the upper arm, the shoulder or glenohumeral joint where the humerus articulates with the scapula, the left side of the rib cage formed by the lateral part of the 12 ribs, the left iliac bone at the side of the pelvis, the left hip joint between the femur and the pelvis, the whole femur, the knee joint between the femur, patella and tibia, the 2 bones of the lower leg, the tibia medially and the fibula laterally, with the strong fibrous proximal and distal tibiofibular joints and interosseous membranes connecting them, the prominent distal ends of the tibia and fibula called the lateral malleolus and the medial malleolus, the ankle joint between the tibia, fibula and talus bone of the foot, the calcaneum bone of the heel, the other tarsal bones in the back half of the foot, the 5 metatarsal bones in the front half of the foot, the metatarsophalangeal joints in the ball of the foot, the first digit with proximal and distal phalanges and the interphalangeal joint, the second digit with proximal, middle and distal phalanges and proximal and distal interphalangeal joints, the third, the fourth, the fifth. Now going to the back of the skeleton, take the awareness to the coccyx, the sacrum at the back of the pelvis, the right and left sacroiliac joints between the sacrum and iliac bones, the 5 lumbar vertebrae of the lower back with disc joints and left and right facet joints between them, The 12 thoracic vertebrae with disc and facet joints connecting them. The back of the rib cage and the joints between the ribs and the spine. The right scapula, the left scapula. The 7 cervical vertebrae with disc and facet joints connecting them. The atlanto-occipital joints where the skull articulates with the first cervical vertebra, the atlas. The bones of the skull. The occipital bone at the back, the left and right parietal bones at the top, the frontal bone of the forehead, the right temporal bone, the left temporal bone, the right temporomandibular joint, left temporomandibular joint, sphenoid, ethmoid and lacrimal bones of the eye socket, nasal and vomer bones in the nose, zygomatic bones of the cheeks, maxillary bones and teeth of the upper jaw, the mandible with the lower teeth, the hyoid bone in the upper neck, the right clavicle, left clavicle, the right and left sternoclavicular joints, the front of the rib cage with the sternum in the center and the costal cartilages connecting the upper 10 ribs to the sternum. The right and left pubic bones at the front of the pelvis and the pubic symphysis where the two bones join. The right and left ischial bones in the pelvic floor. Now the whole right lower limb and right half of the pelvis. The whole left lower limb and left half of the pelvis. The whole right upper limb and shoulder girdle. The whole left upper limb and shoulder girdle. The whole appendicular skeleton. The spine, the rib cage, the skull, the whole axial skeleton, the axial and appendicular skeleton together, making up the whole skeleton. And now let go of awareness of the bones and bring the awareness to the breath. And observe the breath flowing freely in and out. Feel the lungs expanding and contracting gently with each breath. And count the breaths, repeating mentally, in 1, out 1, in 2, out 2, and so on. Discontinue following and counting the breaths and bring the awareness back to the whole body, feeling all the sensations of the body, feeling the slight movement that the breath makes, feeling the weight of the body against the floor. Feel all the points of contact between the body and the floor. Feel the touch of the clothing and coverings. Feel the air on the skin. Notice the outside sounds again. Becoming aware of all the sounds around you. And remember the room. Visualize the room. And remember the environment outside the room. Becoming completely aware of the body and the environment again. Remember the time of day, and remember that you have been practicing Yoga Nidra. The Yoga Nidra practice is now complete. So gently start to wake the body by moving the toes and the fingers gently. Roll the arms and the legs a little. Roll the head gently from side to side. Feel the breath starting to flow more deeply. And stretch the body any way it wants to stretch. And when you're ready, come up to sitting. Mentally prepare to continue with your activities. And then open the eyes and enjoy the rest of the day.